Alright, so we are now heading down into that forest that I have alluded to a couple times. And I really like the forest, for the most part. Because, as you can see, it's kind of the first really dark area. Like, we've had kind of a couple dank rooms, especially in Undead Asylum, but here, so often the background is dark, and the enemies blend into the background, because they are also made of foliage. So it can be, it's a place where you really have to keep your eyes out. Darkroot Garden is what it's called. I was trying to remember if it was like Mirkwood, but wait, no, that's a different fantasy realm. Also, these guys have weird hitboxes on their attacks. I'm always very cautious in trying to guard, because I don't know where exactly they're going to hit, because they're using like whip arms. When you kill them, they have a good chance of dropping various kinds of moss, which can be used to heal poison, or bleed, or toxic, depending on the kind of moss that you get. Hey bud. There we go. Now, look carefully. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Oh, I'm so proud of that. I didn't know if I could actually hit him while he was down there. Now, ooh, look, an item. Interesting thing about the design of Darkroot Garden. There are a lot of like little glowy white things that may or may not be items. You can see there's just some things floating in the air. You may have noticed that there's a couple plants, and there are indeed also items that are glowing. So you may not be able to, and there's that door. You may not always be able to tell if something is an item or not. Anyway, let's see. Is there a way for you to tell that there's a bonfire back there? Yeah, there it is. But how do we get to it? Like that. There's supposed to be a sound that plays. I'm not sure why it didn't play. Now then, I believe this is the last bonfire before the boss that I want to take on. So I am going to reverse hollowing. I'm not going to bother kindling. I imagine I'm just going to kind of do a run through at the end and kindle a bunch of bonfires. Because I don't really need this kindled right now. Oh no, so this happens sometimes. I think it has to do with quitting out of the menu too soon. But, man. Whoa, hey, look at that guy, he's got a cool hat. Alright, I'll be back in a sec. I can't pause out of the game or anything. I have to do an Alt F4. So, I'll see you back in just a sec. Alright, we're back. We're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a technical glitch. Sorry about that. Anyway, so this door. It is locked by some contraption. Apparently like a mystical-ish contraption, based that it's like a glowy thing, and not a regular keyhole. But there is this path here, which I think can actually be pretty easy to miss. I definitely missed it for a few minutes my first time playing through the game. Alright, now look carefully here. You've got an item. You've got a bunch of suspicious-looking bushes. Let's see if they all aggro when I kill one. Come on. I did it so well the first time. There we go. Oh, they're not going to aggro. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, normally those all aggro when you grab this item here. But they didn't because we killed them off early. Now, depending on your weapon, you might not be able to do that. Spears, which are all stabby-stabby, can't do that. Which is just too darn bad. Anyway, here's a fog gate. But we're not going straight into the boss. See these flowers? These flowers are what I was talking about with you'd think they might be items, especially off in the distance. You can see, I'm pretty sure that's a flower back there. Yeah, that's a flower, see? Anyway, easily missable thing here. Ooh. Hey, I heard that. That's one of the benefits of Dark Souls having very little music outside boss fights, is that you can hear little cues like that you're about to get ambushed. Now, be careful here, look. Oh my god, I'm burping so much. Burping hardcore. This is another trap. You see that? That looks like a snake. 2 snakes, in fact. So, why don't we... Can I stab them? Yeah, I can. Oh, you're so dead. Look at that. Oh, it's like a lizard. Lizard with 2 heads that look like snakes. And it gets you a partisan. Partisan is a pretty decent spear weapon. If you're not already using a spear weapon, partisan could be worse. Pretty sure most of the spears in this game are not bad. And you can see I'm taking kind of the outside route. I like to go around the outside, and you'll see kind of a reason once I get to where I want to go. Oops. You're dead. You're not even guarding anything. Ooh, got some ruins here. And you can see we have a dude lying there. Can't even hurt him while he's getting up. So normally those guys are supposed to be really difficult and take a lot of hits, hence why they give 600 souls at this point in the game. And this clearing, it's not really a clearing because it's full of trees, but this area is full of those dudes, and because they take so long to kill, if you aggro multiple at the same time, they are a pain in the butt to deal with. Anyway, sneakily hidden summon sign for which Beatrice? Well, it's this Beatrice.
No!
So yeah, we haven't met which Beatrice. Oh wow, I can't see your face. We haven't met her as an NPC on the overworld, and in fact, we never will. There are some NPCs, summonable and otherwise, that are only through non-overworld events, so to speak. Not to like completely spoil how other NPCs work, but we're never going to see her outside of when we summon her. Also, this looks like a boss fight if I've ever seen one. Where is it? Where's the... Oh, there it is. See it? This is the Moonlight Butterfly. And this is why it's a great idea, one, to summon Witch Beatrice, because she can shoot spells at it from a range. And two, it's a great idea to have the Crest Shield, because the Moonlight Butterfly is primarily magic in its damaging. So having the Crest Shield, which blocks 80% of magic damage, is a great way to survive this. It's not typically a difficult fight. It has like 2 different moves it can use. It has the needle, twin needle, I don't know, pin missile. And also as a slower one that it can shoot that's more powerful. Thing is, Beatrice can freaking own this thing. You're supposed to like dodge or block its attacks up until it lands, like it was about to. But Beatrice just kills the heck out of it. She's so badass. I love her so much. Yeah, it also has some really good music, which we will hear again. Don't worry. If you felt that was anticlimactic, don't worry. So the Moonlight Butterfly, we got its soul, actually. I think that's the first boss soul that we've gotten. Yeah. I don't want to put it on my wire, right? I do want to look at its description. Soul of the mystical Moonlight Butterfly, which flitters in the Darkroot Garden. Special beings have special souls, so a lot of the bosses we fight will drop a special soul that can be used to craft a special weapon, or be used to gain a lot of souls. The butterfly's soul is a creation of Seath the Scaleless. You may remember Seath from the intro cutscene. He is the scaleless dragon who betrayed his own and turned against the dragons and killed them all and brought in the Age of Fire. Now, Seath got up to some pretty crazy stuff after all that went down, including a lot of stuff having to do with magic. Hence why the Moonlight Butterfly is magical. We're going to learn a lot more about Seath in the second half of the game. Anyway, look at this guy. He looks a lot like Andre. Let's get a better look here. Yeah, I think that's Andre's model turned gray / to stone. It is a corpse, it's not just a statue. And it gives us the key to the Watchtower. You remember the Watchtower briefly. That is the tower we went into right before fighting the Taurus demon. I didn't show it off, but you can try to go downstairs, but you need this key or the master key. Also, the Divine Ember. The Divine Ember is a special thing you can give to a blacksmith that will allow the blacksmith to create divine weapons from regular weapons, and those are weapons infused with holy power. And they can kill skeletons in catacombs permanently, if you so desire. Now, I'm always really torn about what to do with this guy, because on the one hand, like, it seems really rude to destroy his petrified corpse, but on the other hand, I would much rather, the circle of life continue and that his remains return to the earth in whatever form. I thought you could destroy him, actually. Hold on. No, actually, he's indestructible. Never mind. Whatever. That was me getting needlessly contemplative. As for the reason it looks like Andre, one, it's because it's meant to signify, oh, this is an ember that you can give to a blacksmith like Andre. Two, I don't know if there's a further lore reason. You could speculate that Andre comes from a long line of blacksmiths who all look exactly the same, but that's the best I've heard. There's a developer reason. It's because they couldn't think of anything better, but death of the author and all that. Anyway, let's take a swig here. And let's kill a bunch of these dudes and get a bunch of souls. I can 3-shot them. That's pretty good. And you can see... Oh, hey. Whoa. So we got a bunch of friends here. Alright, so this is a thing that they can do. They can slow you down. You can cast kind of a slow, and that restricts your movement and I think makes you unable to roll. So many of these getting aggroed. Yeah, that's me trying to roll while under his slow spell. I forget what it's called in the lore, in canon, in game, because I think it's something you can cast on enemy players as well. But yeah, it's a pain in the butt. You don't want to be dealing with multiple enemies while it's cast. Let's grab that moss clump there. No, I think that's all the bush dudes. I'm not sure what I want to call them. They probably have a real name. But yeah, I think that's all. So we can just run around and kill these dudes. Is that all of them? That might be all of them. Anyway, they dropped, or they were guarding, rather, the Elite Knight set. Now, the Elite Knight set, I believe, is the one that's featured on a lot of the game's promotional material. It looks very cool. It's might even be what Oscar wears. Let's see if that's... I'm just going to put it on briefly. I'm not going to keep it on, because the thing about it is that it's really heavy. Like, very heavy. Yeah, this looks like Oscar. Oh. See that? Yeah, it's pretty good armor, but it is heavy as balls. Especially my balls. My balls are very heavy. I'm wondering, do I want to try out that? Because I was looking back at the old footage, and I think this top actually doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it on. I'm playing Fashion Souls BT dubs. Also, you may notice something. This is where we came in. There's a tree here. And we can go around it, but so I didn't really demonstrate it, but this tree used to be over here, and I think the game's trying to trick you. It's trying to make you like, oh, this must be where I came from, and then it brings you down. It's a whole new area, and then you're confused, and then you came back, and it's like, what? There's a tree here. How could this happen? Yeah, they don't fight back. They give negligible souls. They are just neat little aspect of the game design, and it really gives you the impression that, along with the snake tree lizards, that this forest kind of evolved to trick intruders to a certain extent, or all the creatures in this ecosystem have some sort of camouflage, which is interesting. Same with the bush babies. I'm calling them bush babies now. Let's two-hand this. Let's see if I can two-shot him. Yeah, I can. Yep, sure is a hidden path. I think this is the hidden path, even. So you can see there used to be some buildings here. I want to say maybe the Undead Burg, or the battlements outside the Undead Burg used to expand farther, and then the forest kind of encroached upon them as the years went on, and people died. And we are actually going to learn more about the history of this place a long time from now. It's actually the subject of the DLC, which is packed in with the Prepare to Die edition. We're going to learn more about this place. So these poison dart land manta rays are dropping green blossoms. And I don't even need to show them. Basically, you eat them and they increase your stamina regen temporarily. I don't really care. Oh, no. Oh, I could have used... No, I was never going to use that, actually. But so, like, they'll increase your stamina regen temporarily. It's basically, like, I'm wearing the mask of the whatever right now that increases stamina regen. It's like that, but a consumable item. And there are a couple... that's I think the only consumable item that does it. There are a couple other pieces of equipment that do it, and I just prefer permanent equipment that will do it without me having to think about it. Anything over here? Or is this just a... Nope. Dead end. There to make you explore. So we can head up here. So these look like stairs that they were just kind of carved into an existing cave, or they made a cave and they carved it in there. Either way, I can't tell if that's made of stone or wood. I cannot... the grooves on there make me think wood, which makes me think that this was less of an official place. I don't know. Not nearly as inhabited. Yeah, normally if you're not using a super overpowered weapon, these guys take a while to kill. But you really have to deal with them. Otherwise, they'll just cast slow on you, and that'll be a pain, and you can't get away. And we went up here and got that item that we were looking at before. It's the wolf ring. What is the wolf ring, you might ask? It boosts poise. What is poise, might you ask? Oh, this is a lot of lore. Hold on. Poise BT dubs is basically how much damage or something you can take before you get staggered and flaunt around a little bit and leave yourself open. So it can be definitely useful if you don't have really strong armor. So this is one of the special rings granted to the 4 Knights of Gwyn. The wolf ring belongs to Artorius the Abyss Walker. Artorius had an unbendable will of steel and was unmatched with a great sword. So I've mentioned Artorius briefly before in relation to New Londo. This is a ring of his. This is not Artorius, just FYI. Artorius was taller than this. But the wolf ring's a pretty darn good ring, and since I'm wearing light armor right now and I don't need the old witch's ring, I'm going to put it on. Because it basically lets you stand up to more punishment before you just flail ineffectually. Noir poise is never a bad thing, as far as I'm aware. So Artorius, big deal in the lore, especially in the DLC. He is linked to the history of this forest, which is probably why we find the wolf ring here. Even though it's not on his corpse, someone probably picked it off his corpse or something. I'm speculating about lore way more than I thought I would in this playthrough, because I don't know goddamn jack shit about lore. I know nothing. I know nothing, Jon Snow. I feel dirty making that reference, not because it's a bad reference to make, but because I haven't actually gotten to that point in the series. Hey, you're alive! Oh, right, because I rested at that bonfire. Oh, how dare you. Oh, rude. Terribly rude. Never do that. So that's a thing they can do. I thought that the fact that I had my shield up would prevent them from doing that, but that's a thing they can do. They can glomp onto you. And if you don't have a lot of HP, that is a one-hit kill. I think you can use the trigger buttons to escape quicker, but it's a pain in the butt. Because you are basically guaranteed to lose a certain amount of HP if they do catch you. Is there another guy? No. Okay, yeah. Hey. Racking up a decent number of souls here. Moonlight Butterfly helped with that. Also, I really like the design here. When you're coming the original way, you know, the first way that you generally will come, you just walk forward, doot-dee-doo, kill some dudes, pick up some moss, walk straight forward, and you don't notice this side path. But when you're coming back, it is glaringly obvious. There's no way not to see it. So it's a really great organic way of controlling progression without limiting progression, so to speak.